Hello fans, Damian Nelson coming to you here from the studios of the Pro Wrestling Report with this latest edition of PWR Express. Thanks for joining us everyone here on PWRshow.com, and we appreciate you tuning into this edition of PWR Express. A couple things we're going to talk about real quick here. Chris Benoit, obviously the toxicology reports are back, and of course they show that steroids were not a factor. There are no steroids found in Chris Benoit's body. However, there was, and I repeat was, high levels of testosterone found. How that happened, not exactly sure. Some are saying it's a type of steroid, others are not. And whatever the reason, there were 10 times the normal level of testosterone in the system of Chris Benoit. Did that attribute to the killings? Experts are saying absolutely not. This did not show and does not show, and historically has not shown any type of roid rage, if you will, as it pertains to testosterone. Now with Daniel and Nancy Benoit, the wife and son of Chris Benoit, there were drugs found in their system as well. Many believe the sedative was used on Daniel Benoit to sedate him before his killing. Now the big news out of this is obviously the big story and the big deal all of the national media outlets made out of roid rage and steroids and professional wrestling needing to take a step up to address these issues. Well, the issue was not there, especially in this particular instance. WWE saying, of course, that when Benoit was last tested in April of this year, neither steroids nor elevated levels of testosterone were found in his system. Now, WWE seemingly looking good. However, I still think there's going to be ways to spin it found by the national media outlets. Also, speaking about Chris Benoit, the funeral occurred for Nancy and Daniel in Daytona, Florida this past week. Jim Ross, along with a couple of other WWE dignitaries, were asked by the company to go and went. And there is apparently some backlash on good old JR for attending the funeral without being invited. Last I checked, folks, you don't ever need to be invited to a funeral, and it was not a publicity stunt. Yes, JR did answer a couple of questions to the media that asked him when he was there. Otherwise, he was just there to show his respects, and certainly was not a publicity ploy by WWE. That's the latest news on Chris Benoit. And actually the other big news story of the week is Edge relinquishing the WWE World Heavyweight Championship as a result of an injury. Edge tore his pectoral muscle last week on SmackDown from New Orleans, and upon further review, he's going to need to take about 4 months off for that injury. And as you will see on SmackDown Friday night, the great Khali is the new World Heavyweight Champion after winning a Battle Royal on SmackDown. So we see Khali versus Kane at the Great American Bash this Sunday, and quite frankly, being there live in person for the first Khali versus Kane match at WrestleMania 23, not looking forward to it at all, unless Kane gets a title run, which many would say he truly deserves. Now the question that's also been brought up, is there a curse on the SmackDown Championship, whichever one it may be? Batista, Mr. Kennedy, who of course didn't get the title, but due to injury never got it, The Undertaker, and now Edge, all at some point affected by injury, thus causing a missed reign as world champion. This is a substantial blow for WWE. Look at who's out right now. Triple H, who, by the way, great job King Booker Monday on Raw coming out and proclaiming his kingdom. Shawn Michaels, Rey Mysterio, who, of course, some of those will be returning soon. Lots of big name talents out for WWE. This, a substantial blow to them. Fans, obviously, there is no Pro Wrestling Report this week. We'll be back in the studio next week with an all-new episode. We invite you to come on over and check out the show on the site. Keep blowing it up on the forum. There's been all kinds of interesting posts made there as of late. And if you want to contact us direct, you can go ahead and send us an email. Just click on the envelope on the top of the website, send an email to staff here at Pro Wrestling Report, and it may indeed make it on the air. For now, that is PWR Express, and as news becomes available, we will bring you updates right here on PWRshow.com. Thanks for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. If you're watching us on YouTube, hop on over and see the most recent episodes of the Pro Wrestling Report at www.pwrshow.com. Once again, that's all free and all for you at www.pwrshow.com. Thanks for tuning in, folks. We'll see you next time for PWR Express.